Hey everyone, Rhodes Perry here from Rhodes Perry Consulting. Last week, the US Senate confirmed Russell Vogt, who is a co-author of Project 2025. And I shared in a recent Substack article my concerns about his appointment. He has been on the record stating that one of his primary goals is to both traumatize and villainize the federal civilian service. So this has implications, obviously, for the workforce of those who are employed at the federal level. This has a societal impact on us. And in my recent Substack post, I write about collective trauma. Now, collective trauma is very real and left unchecked can have a lot of psychological harms on us as individuals. And certainly for organizations, a lot of my work touches at the intersection of culture, politics, and the workplace. So my attention to organizations is also an area where I'm looking at how collective trauma is impacting teams and individuals. And what we know about collective trauma is that with decreased engagement, it really impacts what we can do as a team because many of us are tending to our very frayed nervous systems. It erodes trust. It decreases psychological safety. So team cohesion is not an option. And if that's not an option, it's really really difficult to achieve our goals. There's also acts of incivility that we're seeing on the rise. And because of the many, many things that the chaos and confusion coming out of Washington, D.C. is doing to our organizations, we can experience burnout because we're trying to do so much. So the practice that we're about to do is an extension of a model that I'm sharing with organizational leaders around collective care. How do we practice collective care as leaders inside of our organizations to help us cope with the collective trauma we're experiencing and also to acknowledge what that collective trauma is? Right. I know that many of the folks that are in my community are really struggling being in organizations that are just kind of moving along as if things are business as usual. I think for many of us, because we're committed to the work of diversity, equity, and inclusion, we're committed to building workplaces where we have a vision for a culture that is a culture of belonging. This is anything but business as usual. So this is a gift. This is a gift around coping, and it is around acknowledging what we're experiencing. It's a roadmap to eventually get us to create some more space to kind of remember what's happening, remembering even some of the collective trauma that's still in the air from living through COVID, which is something that we're still living through right now. So rather than talk about this collective trauma, which we can do, and certainly, if you come to our Thursday belonging practices, we open up with, what's going on for people before we get into some of these body based practices that will allow us to tend to our frayed nervous systems. So this is a practice to do that. So if you're feeling things, you can be doing this practice now, maybe save it for a future time when you know that you might be a little more activated. This is always a practice available to you. So what I would like to do is invite you into the practice. So we can do this in a couple of ways. This is a seated practice. So this is very much a mindfulness practice. It's not necessarily a body scan, a standing somatic centering practice. So for this, I'm going to just kind of have my eyes kind of soft gaze forward. You're also welcome to close your eyes. Maybe find a comfortable seat. It doesn't have to be seated at a desk with the computer right in front of you. And just find a posture. And as you do, really allow your spine to elongate and just naturally lengthen. And again, just kind of notice, whether you have your eyes closed or a soft gaze open, notice the parts of your body being supported. So, for example, I'm in a chair, so I feel my sits bones really kind of pressing into my seat. And as you notice the connection between your body and the earth, right? Feel into the supportive, loving connection that is holding you. and allow your body to rest further down into the earth. Maybe notice the quality of your breath, and you don't have to change anything about the breath. Just notice it. Maybe an inhale in and an exhale out. And equally feel into a sensation, real or imagined, of the earth rising up to meet you, meeting your relaxing energy with a lift. Now, this upward movement symbolizes support and the collective care that we can offer to one another. So, really breathe into that. And then notice your toes, not necessarily seeking sensation here, but a simple awareness, a noticing, a witnessing. And as you notice your toes, both your right foot and your left foot, you might feel something or nothing at all. And whatever arises is just right. Just stay with the awareness of your toes. And from your toes, gain an awareness of your feet, your right and your left foot. Maybe feel into the inner arches, the tops and the bottoms of your feet, that full 360 experience. Even some awareness of your ankles and your heels. Just take that in. And from there, raise your attention up to your shins. You know, feel the energy moving from your feet up into the shins. Maybe from the front of your legs there, lower legs, your shins to the back where the calves are. And also the knees and the back of the knees. Just take that in. And now inviting in all sensations, pressure, temperature, just the felt sense of your lower legs. And just treat all that arises equally, spaciously, and with some curiosity. And again, if you feel a lot, that's great. If you feel a little, that's great. If you feel nothing, that's great. It's all information. And now open to whatever arises, just noticing, acknowledging that emotions may arise, emotions like sadness, maybe anger, maybe fear. Maybe there's a sense of grief because of loss. And we allow these emotions to be present, recognizing to begin creating space for healing, right? We're just noticing that they're there. And going back into the body, let's move up to the thighs. Notice your hamstrings. I know mine are a little tight. Notice the front and the back side of the upper legs. Just again, pressure, temperature, sensations. There's energy that you sense You know, maybe notice, is there a direction that it's moving in? And from there, I want you to notice your hips. Just explore the sensation in the pelvis, the glutes, the front and the back sides. This is a full 360 degrees of the hips. So really draw your attention and your breath to the hips. Maybe take a breath in and a breath out. Go ahead and do that a few more times. And now draw your awareness up to your belly, aware of belly movement with the breath. So breath in, maybe feel the belly expand, and the breath out. Maybe feel a contraction. And as you breathe into your belly, gain some awareness of your lower back. Again, feeling pressure, temperature differences, sensations, buzzing, maybe nothing, right? Aware of the low back and aware of your kidneys, right? Just in the back, off to your right and your left side from your spine. Now, whether or not this awareness of internal organs is real or imagined, just notice again. Maybe notice, maybe asking that question, where are my kidneys, right? But just bring that attention to your lower back and draw your breath there. So a breath in and a breath out. A breath in and a breath out. And then notice your chest. For me, when I do a body scan like this, I like to place my hands on my chest. This is a mudra also for trust. And I know for myself right now in these moments, it's hard to trust. And at the same time, that's what I'm leaning on. It's just trusting that next move, trusting that where I'm at right now in this space is exactly where I need to be. So as you place your hands on your chest, if that's available to you, can you feel or hear your own heart beating? Just notice. This is our home. This is where our sense of belonging lives. It's where our sense of connection to self and maybe an extension to others. This is the source of how we do that. And just like in our centering practice, not only are we feeling the beat of our heart in the front of our chest, right? But we're filling out that 360 space to also feel the beat of our heart right behind our shoulder blades, right in our back, right? So feeling that beating sensation emanating throughout the full front and back, filling out the sides of our chest. And from our chest, we move our energy and our breath up to our shoulders, becoming aware of our shoulders. So maybe there's a little bit of ease in the shoulders, right? And if you're having trouble sensing them, maybe scrunch your shoulders up to your ears and then just drop them. If that felt good, if that's available, maybe scrunching them up again and dropping them. You can do that a few more times if that's helpful. And in that release, Feel the breath. Feel the breath behind the shoulder blades. It's kind of like extending them a little bit wider as you explore your right shoulder from your left shoulder, the front of your shoulder blades to the back. Take a breath in and a breath out. Now follow the felt energy of the shoulders down into your arms, right? From your upper arms to your elbows, to the front and back of your forearms, down through your wrists. And notice, right? Notice if there's a temperature difference between where your right elbow is and your left bicep, right? Like notice what's going on through the full extension of your arms. Take a breath in and a breath out. Now notice the space in the palms of your hands. And with the mind's eye, feel the thumbs, right? Feel your thumbs. Just notice how you know the feeling of your thumbs with your eyes closed. And then feel into each finger, maybe your index finger, your middle finger, your ring finger, your pinky finger. And then notice the back side of your hands. Feel the energy pulsating through your hands. And then awareness arrives at your throat. So sending the energy to your throat, maybe placing a hand just on your collarbone, drawing that energy up towards your throat, your neck, the very back of your head, your chin. Now relax and release your jaw. Maybe open your jaw, close it, open and close. You may want to take your index and middle fingers just at that point where the jaw connects to the skull. Maybe a few circles in one direction, a few circles in the other direction. And relax and release your jaw. Notice the tongue. You might want to set that just softly behind your two front teeth to relax, a little more space. And just feel inside of your mouth. Feel energy there. And again, notice temperature, sensations, pressure. Take a breath in and a breath out. Now focus on your ears. Send your breath to your earlobes. And then from your earlobes to the tip of your nose. And from the tip of your nose to your eyes. And from your eyes to your forehead. And from your forehead to the space behind your ears. And as you're sending the breath to your skull and all that your skull holds, notice the sensation along the underside of the top of your head. And then the outside too, that boundary between your head and the air that surrounds it. And then draw your breath to the crown of your head. And with your focus on the crown of your head, go ahead and send a breath there. So take a breath into the crown of your head. And as you exhale, imagine the air exiting the top of the crown of your head. So just letting out whatever you need to let out. You can do that again. So breathe in and then out, release whatever you need. And feel a sense of open spaciousness at the very top of your head. And this spaciousness is always available to you. This practice of a simple body scan is always available for you to access. And in this knowing, right, just rest in the sensation of the whole body, the breath that you've sent to nearly every part of your body, aware of the fullest expression of your body, feeling complete, feeling connected, feeling whole. Take all of that in and take a breath in and a breath out. If that felt good, do that one more time on your own. Remembering again the connection between this body and the earth before you slowly open your eyes and you come back into this space. It was nice. I feel a little more ease, right? Just kind of being in that care, that collective care of coping, really just providing that immediate support, right? Like I feel a little more support. I feel a little more resourced in the rest of my day ahead. And there's an acknowledgement here that there's a lot going on. There is a lot going on, and uh, currently many of us inside of our organizations are left to figure out, what do we need to do to take care of ourselves as we're trying to do all the things, meet the deliverables, check the boxes to fulfill our responsibilities. And our leaders don't have a lot of support right now. Maybe that's you. Maybe you're a people leader, you might be a team leader, an organizational leader, right? There's some very material consequences to what's happening in our workplaces. And understandably, you need to tend to that. So if you're looking for some more support on how you can take a collective care model and bring it into your teams to help address some of the divisiveness, right? Some of the bridging work that you need to do, this is something that I'm providing support around. So if you'd like to talk, if you'd like to just have someone bear witness to some of the challenges that you're working through, please reach out. I'm very happy to provide the support around some of these somatic practices and how this can help us show up as the leaders that we need to become to move through a moment in time that none of us have ever seen before. So I'm here for you. I'm here to provide support. If you just like to check out collective care practices in a very supportive community, please check out the belonging practice. This is a practice that we've got going on Thursday mornings, 8 a.m. Pacific time. Sorry for my West Coast friends so early. I'm just trying to have an early practice even for folks on the East Coast. If you're international, you're always welcome. Time zones are sometimes challenging, but we do have folks that occasionally attend from places like South Africa, India, Japan, other places. So we welcome you. And together, we are building a strong movement, a strong belonging movement. And right now, these collective care practices are the way that we're doing that. So thanks for being here. Thanks for your practice. We're going to do this. We're doing this together. And I'm so grateful for you, your attention, which is your superpower. And I'm here to help you recharge when you need that. All right, keep going when you can. Take breaks, restore. And remember, this is a marathon that we are in, and we're in it together. So I'll see you next week. And thanks for being here.